making it cheaper to ride. Mark Sutcliffe would slash the cost of an adult transit pass if re-elected.
Take 10% of that upload dividend, there's about $8 to $10 million a year, and put it towards affordability by reducing the cost of a monthly bus pass.
As the incumbent unveils a plan for transit which critics say relies on provincial money that isn't guaranteed. It's about keeping our information safe.
These data centers should not just be allowed to come in, and we shouldn't be lobbying them to come in. We're in the driver's seat, all of us.
That from the Premier, who says data centers must continue to be built in Ontario, despite how controversial they've become. And making a little history.
Right now, we're just waiting to get the doors open and showcase the space.
The capital's newest concert venue set to open, with high hopes of drawing music lovers to the fore. Good evening. We begin tonight with a milestone in the mayoral campaign. Mark Sutcliffe making his first big policy announcement today in his bid for re-election in this fall's municipal election. Sutcliffe promising to lower the cost of a monthly pass to $95 and introduce a daily fare cap. CTV's Leah Larocque joining us live now with the details. Leah.
Well, Patricia, as you know, OC Transpo is facing big financial problems, and fixing them have been critical to the mayoral candidates' campaigns and transit plans. Mark Sutcliffe is hedging a lot of his plan on getting critical funding from the provincial and federal government. A stalled train on the tracks near Lee Station means another frustrating commute for Axel Elchade.
I'm so upset right now because it happened every time there is something going on inside the train.
The train lost power, holding up the system during the morning rush hour commute. This on the same day Mark Sutcliffe announces his transit plan, pledging to make it more affordable.
We'll start by reducing the cost of a monthly transit pass to $95 per month. That's a reduction of over $43 per month, the biggest price reduction in the history of our city.
Right now, an adult pass is about $139 a month. Sutcliffe wants to reduce that to $95. He is also promising to secure funding for Stage 3 LRT to Canada, Barrhaven, and Stittsville. But critical to Mark Sutcliffe's transit plan is securing that promised $4 billion upload investment from the provincial government.
We'll have $85 million a year that we'll be able to reinvest in more affordable and more reliable public transit. I'm going to take 10% of that upload dividend, there's about $8 to $10 million a year, and put it towards affordability. I'm going to take the other 90% and reinvest that in better public transit.
But no deal or funding has been secured, nor is it guaranteed.
This isn't about free public transit, it's about better public transit. If we want more people
Last election, Sutcliffe said lower fares might deprive the system of crucial money, and he promised to stabilize a problem-plagued system.
There's no finish line. Would I have liked things to have happened faster? Absolutely. Would I have liked there to have been fewer hangover issues from the previous administration?
The train eventually moved forward, but too late for Elchade. She's late for work.
I need to be there at 9, but I won't be there obviously at 9, but...
Gave up and called an Uber.
I'm thinking of nothing right now. I'm just mad. I just want to get to work. That's it.
Securing funding for Stage 3 LRT was part of Sutcliffe's campaign 4 years ago. The other candidates running for mayor are Jeff Leeper, Alex Lawson, Neil Saravanamuthu, Zed Chabib, Peter Westaway, and Suraj Harish. Many are critiquing Sutcliffe's transit plan, saying it relies on a promise and falls short. Patricia.
CTV's Leah Larocque live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, they may be controversial, but the Ontario Premier says they have to go up, and they have to go up here. Doug Ford wants to see more data centers built in Ontario. And while speaking at the Association of Municipalities of Ontario here in Ottawa today, Ford said the centers are key to keeping our information sovereign and safe from U.S. President Donald Trump. CTV's Dylan Dyson joins us with more on the province's plan. Dylan.
Yeah, Patricia, it's estimated there are already about 100 data centers in Ontario, and the Premier says we have no choice but to build more in order to keep Canadian data from being exposed to the U.S. government.
As I've said from the start.
At Monday's Association of Municipalities of Ontario conference, Premier Doug Ford said the province needs a firewall to protect Ontario's data.
Ontario has a choice. we can build the economy of the future and ensure Canadians' data remains in Canada, or we can get left behind and risk Canadians' data being sent to the U.S. and into the hands of President Trump.
That protection would come in the form of data centers being built across the province to ensure Canadian data is not being housed in America.
That would be the worst thing we could ever do, let President Trump control our data. That guy would cut us off in about 3 seconds. And so we need to make sure we have data sovereignty in our own hands.
It ends up on an American server. It will be subject to American law, subject to American surveillance, could be subject to Americans deciding we no longer have access to it. We live in a fraught political landscape right now.
The city of Oakville has imposed a 1-year halt to new data centers, and Mississauga is set to consider a similar moratorium next month. Ottawa has at least half a dozen throughout the city. The province recently launched a new framework called the Data Center Playbook to create broad rules surrounding data centers in Ontario.
Up until now, it's been up to individual cities, individual regions, and governments to decide on the rules, and it's been somewhat chaotic.
Ottawa's biggest users in need of data centers would be the federal government and businesses like Shopify. In June, Hydro Ottawa CEO Bryce Conrad said the utility provider had received 34 requests over 2 years from large load consumers to connect to the grid.
We're probably being asked to build in the next 2 or 3 years, that which has taken us about 110 years to build.
Unfortunately, there is not enough capacity to handle all of the services that we run today. So truth of the matter is Ontario needs more data centers.
Now, concerns have been raised about the potential negative effects of data centers on the environment. Under the new provincial framework, data centers would have to minimize their environmental impact, with preference being given to projects that operate using virtually no water. Large data centers would also be subject to higher bills compared to other industrial energy users. Patricia.
CTV's Dylan Dyson live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, a new sound is coming to the edge of the ByWard market. After more than 2 years of planning and construction, History Ottawa is ready to open its doors this week. And CTV News was among those getting a first look at the newest music venue right here in the core. CTV's Josh Morano joins us now. And Josh, what can concertgoers expect?
Well, Patricia, it's a big new stage right in the heart of downtown. And with opening night already just a few days away, there's plenty of excitement for what's to come.
The lights are on, the stage is set, and after years of work, History Ottawa is ready for an audience.
Seeing kind of the finished product is better than I think I would have imagined 2 years ago.
The former chapters on Rideau Street, now a 2-level, 2,000-person concert venue.
We've seen great response from Ottawa in terms of the music lover. It's a great music city, and so right now we're just waiting to get the doors open and showcase the space.
The main floor puts fans right in front of the stage, while upstairs, 112 premium seats in a 200-person lounge designed by Canadian artist and co-owner Drake and his team.
I think it's nice for Ottawa. We kind of needed this.
For music fans passing by, it's a new option some say the city has been missing.
If you get someone here, it's often in like the Canadian Tire Centre. No one wants to drive out that far. So it's really nice to see something central.
One thing I would love to see, even though as ambitious, would be like Broadway performers or like comedic acts.
Rock, metal, country, comedy, and even a toddler rave, all part of the possibilities here.
I love the location. I love the fact that we're getting more live music in the city. Hopefully Drake does a good job of living up to its name. I know it's really good in Toronto, and yeah, I'm really happy that it's here in Ottawa.
But the hope is crowds won't just fill this room. Live Nation expects upwards of 150 shows a year, potentially bringing 300,000 people into the ByWard market annually.
More traffic puts more life into areas, which ultimately helps be able to, move the ByWard market into a direction that we're all happy with.
The first crowds arrive Thursday, with the Wallflowers opening History Ottawa to a sold-out room.
And Live Nation says they already have about 60 shows planned through the end of the year, including artists like Talk and Mariana's Trench, with more than 30 other shows on sale right now. Patricia.
Great location. Can you tell it's not another Ottawa museum as you walk by it, Josh?
It's very tough. I think when I was talking to somebody, they referred to it as history, as in the history of Ottawa, but cleared it up right away.
Yeah. Once you get inside, you can tell it's a different animal altogether. All right. Thank you, CTV's Josh Morano, live for us tonight. Still ahead, as some of the natural materials that absorb water disappear, would permeable pavement provide a solution? The pilot project that is more than just a tongue twister coming up. Well, taking a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam right now, 24 degrees out there in Ottawa, and fortunately not a lot of precipitation coming down that needs to be absorbed any which way right at the moment, Jackie.
Well, Patricia, at least here in Ottawa, no precipitation in sight. Parts of Kingston, though, the last few hours, they did see a little bit of active weather rolling in. It is going to be clearing out for the most part, but you said it, 24 degrees here in the capital, feeling closer to 29. So the humidity levels did increase this afternoon. Blame it on the sunshine, and we are going to enjoy this as we get into the overnight hours. Clear skies, 14 degrees cooling down to, but tomorrow another daytime high of 25 degrees with a mix of sun and cloud. Hang on to your umbrella, though. We are anticipating rain moving in by the time we hit the middle of the week. We'll have those details for you in just a bit.
Well, Canada's inflation rate edged slightly higher in July, due in large part to climbing gas prices. New data released today shows the country's consumer price index rose to 3% in July, but Ottawa fared slightly better than the national average. CTV's Austin Lee joins us now to break it all down. Austin.
Well, Patricia, Canada's inflation rate was 3% last month. That was up from 2.8% in June, and that uptick is thanks to higher energy prices. But in Ottawa, as you mentioned, we actually saw a slight decrease from 2.8% in June to 2.6% in July. Here's a look at the numbers for the entire country. The cost of food rose just over 3% compared to the previous year, while shelter remained relatively steady, up about 1.4%. The highest jumps, however, were in transportation, up nearly 8%, and gasoline, which climbed almost 26%. Now, if you take the price of gas out of the equation, Canada's inflation rate is just over 2%. Today's data come as many Canadians are still struggling to make ends meet. And while the cost of living is a challenge for many, it's persisting. Some economists, however, say it could certainly be worse.
I think the good news is that core inflation, if you exclude gasoline prices, transportation costs, core inflation is still comfortable for the Bank of Canada. The problem is if this starts to build into, more broadly into other goods, especially the transport, goods that are transported, those things that we import.
Now, at 3%, Canada's rate of inflation for July is right at the top of the Bank of Canada's target range of 1% to 3%. And these latest numbers mark the central bank's last look at price data before its next interest rate decision, which is set for early September. Now, the bank has held its lending rate at 2.25% for 6 straight decisions. Markets and economists expect to see the central bank hold rates yet again in just over 2 weeks. Patricia.
CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, we are now less than 48 hours until proposed new U.S. tariffs are slated to be imposed on a variety of Canadian products. That's unless a deal is reached between our two countries. Today, Prime Minister Mark Carney said he will be speaking with Donald Trump before Wednesday's deadline. CTV's Mike Couture has the latest now from Washington.
Trade talks went to a whole new level and a new location today as both Canadian and American representatives met here at the Department of Commerce.
How are talks going with Canada?
Both sides said little as they arrived for what turned out to be a meeting that lasted an hour and 45 minutes. That's the longest the two sides have sat together in recent days, reflecting the, quote, delicate and intense nature of the negotiations, as described by Prime Minister Mark Carney earlier today. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick was also at the meeting. Given the prominent role in directing the president's protectionist policy, it's perhaps a signal that the two sides are preparing to present both the president, Donald Trump, and Prime Minister Mark Carney with the layout of a possible deal. As we had reported last week, the hope was to put something on Trump's desk either today or tomorrow.
We're going to continue working. Our job is not yet done.
Now, earlier in the day, Carney said he and Trump will be having a call to discuss the looming tariff deadline.
we'll have opportunities over the next 48 hours to discuss in more detail as the negotiations go forward, and I think that's the best forum.
There is a sense of urgency as well. We're less than 48 hours from 50% tariffs being applied to a wide swath of Canadian imports into the United States. It's something that the Canadian Chamber of Commerce said would be devastating for small and medium-sized businesses. Mike Lecoulteur, CTV News, Washington.
And stay with CTV News for continuing coverage of the Canada-U.S. trade negotiations. For updates on radio, tune into News Talk 580 CFRA and CTV News Channel. Ottawa police have charged a 25-year-old man for an alleged assault over the weekend against a busker in the downtown area. Officers were called to an area near the Fairmont Chateau Laurier on Wellington Street shortly after 4 p.m. on Saturday. Police say the victim was approached by an unknown man while playing bagpipes on the sidewalk. The victim was assaulted with an edged weapon without provocation. Ottawa paramedics say the victim suffered minor injuries to his hand. A suspect has now been arrested on several charges, including assault with a weapon, assault causing bodily harm, and breach of probation. Ontario is rolling out new bail requirements today, which the province claims will improve accountability and ensure compliance. Under the new rules, an accused who is released on bail will have 2 business days to provide a cash security deposit in the full amount pledged, and officials will gain enhanced collection tools for bail debts. For example, wage and bank account garnishment and property liens, seizures, and sales. The ByWard Market District Authority has fired its executive director. Victoria Williston was let go last Friday. She was hired in January to guide the ByWard Market in a new direction. In a social media post, Williston stated she was proud of the work done in just 7 months. During her tenure, the ByWard Market Square and the Vendor Village became summer fixtures in the market. Well, a day of fishing turned into a rescue mission for Ottawa firefighters after a woman became stuck in the mud at a Canada pond Sunday afternoon. Ottawa Fire Services say they received a 911 call from the woman's father around 3 o'clock reporting his daughter was trapped in Rebecca Pond in the South March Highlands Conservation Forest. The 27-year-old was fishing from a plastic culvert when she lost her balance and fell in the pond. Once on scene, firefighters were able to pull the woman from the mud in about 15 minutes. She was not injured but was assessed on scene by paramedics. Police in Gatineau stopped 2 drivers over the weekend, both traveling at least 80 kilometers an hour over the speed limit. On Saturday, a New Brunswick man was stopped for driving 184 kilometers an hour on Highway 50 at Lupine. The speed limit is 100 kilometers an hour. He's facing $1,600 in fines, a license suspension, and 18 demerit points. And on Friday night, a 26-year-old man from L'Ange Gardien was caught driving 180 kilometers an hour on Highway 50 near kilometer marker 162. He's also facing more than $1,600 in fines, as well as a license suspension and 14 demerit points. And Ontario Provincial Police laid stunt driving charges last week to a driver visiting Eastern Ontario from another country. The vehicle was traveling 150 kilometers an hour on the 401 in South Dundas Township. The speed limit in that area is 110. Police did not say which country the driver was from. Well, Hayden Panettiere, known for her roles in the popular TV series Heroes and Nashville, has died at the age of just 36. Panettiere's father announced the actor's death Sunday night, describing his daughter as an incredible light and a force of nature who brought immeasurable love and joy to all who knew her. No cause of death has been announced. Panettiere began her career as a child actor and found fame in the popular superhero series Heroes, followed by the drama Nashville. She was also in several of the Scream films. In the years leading up to her death, the mother of one had been open about her postpartum depression and struggles with alcohol addiction.
I'm Kimberly Johnson. How city pavement can help save homes from flooding. Details are coming up.
Thanks so much, Kimberly. Now here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We are looking at downtown Ottawa right now, and the temperature's still sunny, and this will continue into tomorrow. So again, a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It is 24 degrees here. Sunshine day. It will be a similar story as we look towards our Tuesday.
Ottawa is always on the move.
We're a big city
with a laid-back vibe.
where foodies love their sweets
and markets bursting with flavor,
wrapped up in waterways
and hot summer days.
This is a city where culture is on display.
And the future
meets the past.
Where people come together.
Always proud.
Often loud. Whee!
And positively the best place to live.
We move with you, Ottawa!
Taking a look at the roads on your Monday drive home. Another quiet week out there before things start to ramp up and get busy and get back to routine next week and beyond. Right now, we're seeing just a few slowdowns in the usual spots. Well, as we've seen this summer, sudden and intense weather is becoming more and more common, and with that, the risk of flooding. But what if the pavement on the ground could help protect our homes? Well, that's what one Ottawa-based company is looking to do by using permeable pavement to help absorb water. And it's part of a city pilot project. CTV's Kimberly Johnson has the details.
Intense flooding has hit Ottawa communities hard this summer, but a new way to pave could be on the way in Ottawa to help prevent it in the future. It's called permeable pavement. Here, you see a bucket of water quickly absorb into it at the EV charging stations at the Ottawa airport.
It absorbed 18 liters of water in 32 seconds through less than 1 square foot of surface area.
The pavement, made by PurePave Technology, an Ottawa-based company. CEO Taylor Davis says during a storm, the specialized pavement allows the ground to act like a sponge instead of relying on drains.
When you have a storm system that's essentially full during these rain events, that's when we're starting to see flooding. That's when we have nowhere for the water to go.
With the permeable pavement, that moves through it. And then eventually it moves into the ground itself. That's where it gets absorbed. And the idea is to hopefully bypass the sewer systems altogether. The City of Ottawa is using the permeable pavement in a pilot project. Strips will be placed along Anna Avenue and Crown Crescent near Carling and Fisher.
The first of its kind in Canada.
While other permanent pavement systems exist, PurePave Technology says this one is unique as it's made to work in colder climates. The pilot project is being supported by the National Research Council as well as the University of Ottawa and Carleton. Councillor Devine says permeable pavement is being adopted in New York City, but here it's a first in Canada.
I hope now that we scale up and we do a lot more of this, because Ottawa's vulnerable wards, including my own, are being hit time and time again. And frankly, we could never afford to increase the size of our sewer systems.
The pilot project launches in the fall. Kimberly Johnson, CTV News.
Interesting stuff for sure. Well, it definitely feels like summer out there today. A hot and humid start to the third week of August. It was mostly cloudy in the capital today with the sun peeking through in the afternoon. This is a look at Jacques Cartier Park where the Canada geese are enjoying the summer conditions. The high today around 25 degrees, but it was humid out there. The humidity making it feel more like 33 or so. Jackie?
I had to do a double take, Patricia. I don't know if you felt that because I was out earlier before the lunch hour, and I went out a little bit today. I'm like, okay, with the sun coming out in the afternoon, that's when I'm feeling that humidity increase.
Yeah, I'm wearing a cardigan, so I guess I'm getting ready for fall a little too soon.
I mean, that's good for the morning, though, because we are starting to get those chilly conditions in the morning. But again, those afternoons, especially when the sun is out, we are anticipating some warm days. Now, while we did not see some rain moving through the Ottawa area, parts of Kingston in the afternoon, the last couple of hours, they did see some light rain showers moving in. And it is expected to clear out by the time the 7 o'clock hour rolls around. You could really see for all of Eastern Ontario, mainly clear skies as we get to the midnight hour. Now, taking a look at temperatures right now, 24 degrees, sun setting much faster these days at 8 o'clock as opposed to those 8:30, 8:45 nights. So yes, we are in the third week of August, and summer is slowly coming to an end. Now, tonight's lows across Eastern Ontario hover around 14, 15 degrees, slightly cooler in the valley where temperatures are sitting around 12 degrees for those overnights. Tomorrow's daytime highs will be very similar to what we did see today, 25 degrees really throughout Eastern Ontario. With those humidity levels, it'll feel closer to 29. So you won't need the umbrella for our Tuesday, but it will be a different story by the time we get to Wednesday. So you can take a look really for most of our Tuesday, even in the afternoon. You're going to start to see some cloud cover rolling in, especially around the valley. We don't need to worry so much about this precipitation that is moving through, but Wednesday, it's into the overnight and the early hours, so it could be a wet, rainy commute, not just for Ottawa, but really for all of Eastern Ontario. So keeping a close eye on this. Now, right now, across the country, it is rainy in Atlantic. Goose Bay, 14 degrees. Fredericton, 19 degrees, as well as in Halifax and rain. Meanwhile, here in Quebec, as well as Ottawa, 21, 24 degrees. Mix of sun and cloud really throughout the province, so that's the good news. Cooler temperatures, though, are prevailing around prairies. It's about 18 in Regina, Saskatoon, 22, and there is some active weather that is moving in. A closer look now at our 7-day forecast, brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. 25 degrees are anticipated daytime high for Tuesday. Wednesday, again, it will be in the early part of our morning that we will likely see rain moving through. 22, the anticipated daytime high, so a cardigan, not a bad idea for Wednesday. 24, we could see the chance of showers lingering, but again, 24, the daytime high. Friday, though, is looking best when we could see some sunny skies. 26 degrees, the anticipated daytime high, and cloudy skies for our Saturday. Ottawa, get ready to celebrate 200 years of our city. The Ottawa Red Blacks take on the BC Lions August 30th in the Bytown Bicentennial game. Now join the Red Blacks at TD Place as they honor the people, culture, and history that have shaped our nation's capital for 2 centuries. We have your chance to win a pair of Southside Club seats plus some Red Blacks merch. Head over to ctvottawa.ca now and enter for your chance to win your way to the game. Good luck.
That's got to be the one. It's coming, right?
It's coming.
The Red Blacks. All right, thanks, Jackie.
The incidence seems to be increasing, which is why there's concerns.
Well, coming up, why some parents are refusing a shot of vitamin K for their newborn babies and why doctors are concerned by the trend.
Tonight, less than 72 hours until a possible new round of U.S. tariffs.
How close are you to getting a deal?
How close the two sides are to a deal and the key U.S. figure joining the negotiations. Later on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
CTV News community and weather anchor Jackie Perez. Weeknights.
Well, the rain couldn't stop those attending Greek Fest last night over on Prince of Wales Drive. The nightly Zorba show is a huge attraction, along with live music, the arts court, and great food and culture, all stealing the show. Greek Fest returns for another 4 days, next Thursday through Sunday. Admission is free, and there's also free parking on site. Well, doctors are warning about a disturbing trend. Parents refusing an injection of vitamin K for their newborns at birth. It's been a common practice in Canada and helps with clotting to prevent brain bleeds. CTV's Heather Wright reports.
Do you believe that babies have a vitamin K deficiency?
Slick videos like this one are all over the internet explaining to parents the alleged risks associated with the vitamin K shot.
This is interference with long-term consequences they never talk about.
Doctors say this type of misinformation is leading to an increase in parents refusing the shot, which is given to babies right after birth to help with blood clotting.
The incidence seems to be increasing, which is why there's concerns.
Dr. Eugene Ng is a neonatologist at Sunnybrook Hospital in Toronto and says because babies are born with a vitamin K deficiency, a shot of the nutrient is given to prevent a rare but potentially life-threatening condition known as vitamin K deficiency bleeding, which can lead to brain bleeds and long-term brain damage.
Late vitamin K deficiency bleeding is associated with a 3 times higher risk of intracranial hemorrhages, meaning that it's bleeding into the brain. And bleeding into the brain is a severe complication.
Those opposed to the vitamin K shot list a host of reasons why, including concerns about ingredients, preservatives, and debunked links to leukemia.
This is a well-established, much-needed, very routine biomedical procedure.
Timothy Caulfield is a professor at the University of Alberta and says parents who refuse the vitamin K shot are also less likely to vaccinate their children. He says both are examples of the power of health misinformation.
That sort of personal urgent message from an influencer that you might relate to can be more persuasive than the authoritative voice that's expressing what the science actually says.
It's hard to know just how many Canadian parents are declining this shot, but a new study from Sweden found from 2006 to 2021, the refusal rate more than doubled. Doctors say there is an oral alternative for any parents who are hesitant to give their babies a shot. Heather Wright, CTV News, Toronto.
Now, some other stories you need to know right now. Trips across the Canada-U.S. border from eastern Ontario to New York State hit a 22-month high in June. The U.S. Customs and Border Protection says there were more than 175,000 trips at U.S. land border locations at Alexandra Bay, Messina, and Ogdensburg, New York in July, up from around 163,000 trips across the border in July of last year. U.S. officials reported 152,000 trips across the Canada-U.S. border to western New York State in June, 144,000 in May, and 127,000 trips in April.
Of course, it would be DB Pridham. 5 minutes to go before the half.
Ottawa Rapid FC announcing today star forward Delaney Bay. DB Pridham has signed a contract extension with the club. She will remain with the Rapid through the 2028 Northern Super League season. Pridham joined the team ahead of the league's inaugural season last year. She was the recipient of the league's first Golden Boot and was named the NSL Player of the Year and Forward of the Year. Well, a change at the very top of the winless Ottawa Red Blacks organization. Red Blacks president Adrian Sciarra will be replaced as the struggling team looks for a new leader. He will stay with OSEG as president of the Ottawa 67s.
That's the winner. Surely that's the winner from Ralph Curry.
Atletico Ottawa playing in a big match Sunday in their push for the Canadian Premier League playoffs. Ralph Curry with an electric late-game goal for Atletico against Super du Quebec in Laval. That would stand as the game winner. 2-1 the final score. The top four teams in the CPL make the playoffs. Ottawa currently sits fourth in the standings. The club's next match is set for Wednesday night at TD Place Stadium against Vancouver FC.
But nonetheless, they got to get into the end zone first, and here comes Akemi Higa on fourth down. Higa end zone, no! Off the mark, looking for Madison Fulford, and Canada has done it!
Canada's women's flag football team is qualified for the sports Olympic debut in the 2028 Los Angeles Games. The women won gold in the championship game at the World Flag Football Championships in Germany on Sunday. The senior men's national team earned a bronze medal, also securing its own Olympic berth to the Games in LA. Well, coming up in the Kawartha Lakes area, the search continues for a missing pilot after parts of his plane were found earlier today.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Bowl.
Pure Country 94. Ottawa's home for the best country music. Listen to Pure Country 94 on the free iHeartRadio app.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, the search continues in a wooded section of the Kawartha Lakes area for a pilot missing since Friday. His home-built plane was found overnight, but 73-year-old David Douglas was not. CTV's John Musselman has more.
Debris from the missing plane was discovered this morning in Queen Elizabeth II Wildlands Provincial Park, located about 45 minutes north of Balsam Lake. Registration numbers on the debris have been matched to the missing plane. The pilot, 73-year-old David Douglas, remains missing. Durham Regional Police say he took off from the Oshawa Airport around 8:30 Friday morning, heading north toward Kawartha Lakes. Douglas was flying a small blue and yellow single-seat home-built plane. The Joint Rescue Coordination Center in Trenton began the search over the weekend. This morning, the wreckage from the plane was observed in Wolf Lake, which is located inside the provincial park. A family spokesperson told CTV News today the family is, quote, grateful to the community for helping in this search. They went on to say that flying has been a passion for David. Douglas is the father of 2 grown sons. He is described as an experienced pilot.
John Musselman, CTV News.
On today's business news, gas prices are once again to blame for pushing the inflation rate up to 3% in July. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
The rate was 2.8% in June, and most economists had expected it to hit 2.9% last month. With the Mideast conflict still unresolved, the price of oil has been volatile. That meant paying more to fill up the gas tank and to travel, with jet fuel spiking as well. Statistics Canada has also released inflation rates for major cities, but warned they are based on small samples. The rate of inflation for Whitehorse was the highest at 5.5%. Halifax was 4.8%. St. John, New Brunswick, 4.5%. Spin Master is buying a U.S. company called HAPICO. The value of the deal, somewhere between $35 and $50 million U.S. HAPICO makes the sticker box, which turns voice commands into stickers. It sells online for about $129 U.S., and Spin Master says it has sold out 13 times since hitting the market in late 2025. A power outage has forced Algoma Steel to suspend production at its Lake Superior generating facility west of Sudbury, Ontario. The company is still assessing the problem, but says it does not expect the disruption to affect customer delivery dates. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is up a fraction to 72.08. West Texas Intermediate moved up over $2 to 84.50 U.S. a barrel. Western Canadian Select is up to 64.48, and the TSX dropped 62 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is urging the federal government to provide Canadians more relief at the pumps. The Liberals suspended the federal fuel excise tax earlier this year as a way to ease some of the price shocks caused by the ongoing war in the Middle East. At the time, Prime Minister Mark Carney indicated the suspension would last until Labor Day. Now Poilievre is calling for the break to be extended until next July, saying Canadians will be unable to afford a hike in gas prices next month.
If this 50% comes on, and it's not just a negotiation tactic, and it comes on and it stays on, it could actually cause some farms to be lost.
Coming up, honey producers raising concerns over new U.S. tariffs that may come into play this week. They say for some, it could mean losing their farms.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Bowl.
On Sunday, October 4th, take part in CHEO's RBC Race for the Kids. Be part of an unforgettable day as we come together to support CHEO's largest redevelopment campaign ever. Take on the 5K, 10K all-terrain, or 2K accessible family fun run at Wesley Clover Parks. Join the movement. Support a great cause. Register today. r4tk.cheofoundation.com.
Another sticky issue in the Canada-U.S. trade negotiations, the cross-border business of selling honey. If a 50% tariff takes effect this week, bee farmers fear the entire industry will suffer. CTV's Alex Carper reports.
So this will be mostly honey.
Chris Bartel is a third-generation honeybee farmer near Oakbank, Manitoba. He says the industry continues to face significant challenges.
It's definitely getting harder.
Bartel's family-run farm is in the middle of harvest, but there's a cloud lurking over this year's product. The U.S. is set to impose new 50% tariffs on several Canadian goods, including honey, starting on Wednesday.
If this 50% comes on, and it's not just a negotiation tactic, and it comes on and it stays on, it could actually cause some farms to be lost. For the industry as a whole, I don't think it'd be a positive thing.
Canada produced over 84 million pounds of honey in 2025, according to Statistics Canada, which is an almost 4% volume increase from 2024. Data also shows that over half of the country's exports in that same year went to the United States.
My producers have said this is devastating. It could put the industry out of business.
The beekeepers sell their honey to Canadian packers, but some are now canceling contracts over fears the tariffs will mean less demand from the United States, which is the industry's biggest customer.
Canceling contracts means that beekeepers will not have a market for their honey. So they will have no revenue basically, because the honey production is the main source of revenue for most beekeepers.
Some economists say the tariffs could force Canadian producers to look for new international markets, a process that could take time.
It might take 6 months to a year before beekeepers are able to find customers that are in Europe or Asia or Africa or South America. So it could be very devastating for the economy here as well as the rest of Canada.
The Beekeepers Federation is calling on the federal government for emergency support if this tariff threat becomes a reality. Alex Karpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Well, coming up, Canada's former Prime Minister and his pop star girlfriend get their dance on in an unexpected spot. What spurred the spontaneous moves? Just ahead. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. Taking a look at what we can expect for the next 3 days, mainly sunny skies for Tuesday. We are going to be averaging about 25 degrees. 22, Wednesday is going to be our coolest day of the week. And yes, anticipate rain for Wednesday morning and a possible chance of showers for Thursday. So take advantage of this evening. Take advantage of tomorrow as well. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass sky cam where it's 24 degrees out right now. Looking down Sussex Drive, the sun continues to shine on this Monday evening.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Boll.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford. Employee pricing on now.
Tomorrow on Your Morning Ottawa, the 5K Foam Fest is returning to Ottawa this weekend. We get a preview of what runners can expect. Tune in on CTV or stream us live on Crave.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's what's on CTV tonight. E-Talk, The Big Bang Theory, American Ninja Warrior, and The Quiz with Balls. Here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
When the upload is complete, we'll have $85 million a year that we'll be able to reinvest in more affordable and more reliable public transit.
Slashing the cost of an adult monthly transit pass, the shiny item in Mark Sutcliffe's plan to make city transit better for users.
These data centers should not just be allowed to come in, and we shouldn't be lobbying them to come in. We're in the driver's seat, all of us.
The Premier pushing for more data centers to go up in Ontario. He says building them here is key to keeping our information safe.
Seeing kind of the finished product is better than I think I would have imagined 2 years ago.
And from a former landmark bookstore to this, a look inside Ottawa's newest concert venue right in the heart of the city, History Ottawa, set to open its doors this week. Final check on the weather for this week, or at least into tomorrow, Jackie?
That's right, Patricia. Leave the umbrella at home for this evening. You won't need it. Clearer skies, even for tomorrow morning as well. Mix of sun and cloud to start things off. 15 degrees as well, so a cooler start to the day, very similar to what we saw for our Monday, but it will warm up to 25 degrees. We are going to get a little bit more cloud cover, so it may not be quite as humid as what we saw today. Daytime high, as I mentioned, 25 degrees. Will feel closer to 29. The overnight low, though, is going down to about 17, so it will be a quite warm evening going into Wednesday, where in the overnight hours between 3 a.m. and 7 a.m. we are anticipating heavy rainfall moving through. Anticipate around the Kingston area, we could see a severe thunderstorm watch in effect, but we are going to have cooler temperatures for our Wednesday. 22 degrees, the daytime high.
All right, good stuff. Thank you. And time now to check in to see what our news team will be working on tonight. Austin Lee is on the desk at 11:30.
Yeah, thanks, Patricia. We'll have a story about beans. Details on a new selection of dry beans that are being developed by researchers here in Ontario. They're using artificial intelligence, and the team at the Ontario Agricultural College have sprouted a super bean. They say it's set to hit the market in the coming years. CTV's Karis Mapp will tell us how their app is helping others get the most bean for their buck. So we're looking forward to that one. Of course, you can get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca, and join me tonight for CTV News at 11:30.
Beans, the musical fruit.
There you go.
I don't know.
Yeah.
We're talking music here to end the show. You want to see where that one's going, Jackie?
Just
That was a greeting card that the kids used to give. Yeah, this is interesting. Justin Trudeau and his girlfriend pretty happy to hear his son's music on the radio.
On Virgin Radio.
In the Home Hardware on St. Laurent Street.
On St. Laurent Street? Is that what he said? Trudeau and Katy Perry filming themselves dancing in the aisles of a Montreal hardware store, not that St. Laurent, holding a plunger and assorted household items as one does. All while Xavier Trudeau's son, Downtown, was playing on the radio. Trudeau and Perry, as you may know, have been dating for more than a year now, have frequently been spotted in Montreal, LA, and elsewhere. Zav has released the 3 singles and is signed to Ottawa-based record label Pathway Music Group. Did he not play at a basketball game that you were
He was
at,
the
Jackie?
home opener or the halftime performer for the home opener for the Blackjacks.
Yes.
I believe he performed at Shawarma Fest this summer as well, so I'm sure we'll see more from
No
him.
one in the crowd waving plungers, cheering him on?
Not that I've seen yet.
Interesting stuff. They were excited, right? And supportive and having fun. Right, Austin?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
Have a great night, everyone.